Hello everyone, welcome back. It's Empyrion Galactic Survival episode 49. I'm Enigmius and today we're off to a different planet in search of Zascosium, which is the last mineral that we need access to in order to be able to build whatever we want, assuming we have actually supplies of the materials. We haven't found any ore deposits for Zascosium yet. Before we go, we have to get our capital vessel all loaded up. You can see by the nameplate we've already got our hover vehicle loaded into the right hangar pod. And I promised in a previous episode that before we really kind of got underway with the capital vessel that we would make a new small vessel to replace the dragon. And that's pretty much what we've done here. It's similar in size. It's much heavier, I've determined. It seems that way. It's not as maneuverable as the dragon was, but the benefit to that sacrifice is it doesn't use nearly as much fuel. So this is basically like a long-range planetary scouting vehicle. I wouldn't want to leave this next to an ore deposit that I was mining or a point of interest that I was clearing, for example, because small vessels don't have turrets, so it can't defend itself. And it's really not designed to take a hell of a lot of a beating from something that's just sitting there blasting away at it while we're frantically trying to get out of whatever hole we're in so that we can take care of the threat. It does have 4 pulse lasers in our now common setup with the weapons recessed back far into the ship. We've got armored glass panels sort of providing layered defense. It's very, very difficult to shoot at the weapons and actually hit them. And they're right beside our pilot seat so that we can line things up, use the glass and the crosshairs to have the ship as the scope and be accurately capable of firing? Call it that, I don't know. The whole idea is that we've got these to defend ourselves from drones if we need them. And also I want to do some experimenting when we have the chance to see how effective it is at clearing turrets off points of interest relative to bringing out the hover vessel. The main thing here is that we've got the hover vessel can look after itself. We can park it outside of things like points of interest. But this guy might be slightly better suited to getting the turrets cleared faster than lobbing artillery shells with the hover vessel. So we've got the interior here is quite spacious. Everything that we need is right here. We've got room to add more stuff if we needed it. We've got oxygen and plenty of tanks. We've got all of our RCS modules, 10 fuel tanks, more RCS modules, a constructor, basic cargo, and ammunition things that are all absolutely full of ammunition for our pulse laser. So this is the new small vessel. I've taken it out just for a bit of a cruise to see how it was for fuel consumption and all those other things. It needs a little bit more detailing and a bit of a shakedown, and then this will be available as a blueprint alongside the capital vessel probably in the next episode. So having said all that, we're going to get this guy loaded up and then we're going to head on out of the atmosphere to Mespron, I think, is our planetary goal. We're going to do a little bit of scouting. We're going to see if we can find some Zascosium, check out the points of interest, and hopefully just have a jolly good time of things in our new ships. So this guy, yeah, it uses a fraction of the fuel of the Dragon, and we can always add more fuel tanks if we want that longevity. But right now, flying around in atmosphere, we've got minimum 4 hours of fuel with all the tanks full, so that's pretty good. We're never going to go on a 4-hour scouting mission in this ship, or pretty much any other for that matter. We've got 3,500 large Promethium packs in the capital vessel in storage for whatever we happen to need them for. It's a little bit difficult to find where the top is sometimes, just because of the camera angle. But we did it. We got it. We can exit the vessel. Lots of room in these hangars. Plenty of room. That was the whole idea when we built it, is we wanted to make sure that we had plenty of room for whatever we might happen to want to stuff into these things. And that's what we've got. So that's kind of cool. I'm happy with that. The main thing is we have to make sure that whatever we want to get in here can fit through the hangar doors. If we can get it through the hangar doors, we're in pretty good shape. Now we're on a bit of an angle, so the stairs don't work. I still get a kick out of that. There's no point getting frustrated by it. You just have to remember, if you're on a bit of an angle, you might have a kind of a tough time. So that puts us squarely in this pilot seat, where we will turn on all 15 of our thrusters. The small vessel has over 30 thrusters. This one has 15. And we've got, according to the readout, 13 minutes worth of fuel in atmosphere. We don't even need that. Basically, we need to get out of the atmosphere, set our course for Empyrion, do the jump, approach the planet, land on the planet, land in a place that's safe. We don't have to worry about any points of interest. The ship can take care of itself when it comes to drones. And then we'll be back into the small vessel to do the scouting anyways. So, Mr. Map and Skillin, Alien Outpost, Astus, Ningwe's trading outposts. We still haven't even been to the trading outposts. Asteroid field. Empyrion. This is an alien planet. Of course, it would have to be the alien planet. Yep, I sure did. There we go. 5.4 greater than 1 year. That's good to know. What I wanted to do, what I had in mind, is because this is the alien planet, it's sort of like the flip-flop of Akua, I guess you could say, based on what I've seen, is build a fortress there. Not just a base, but a fortress that can fend off pretty much anything, exploit it for resources, do all the points of interest, and then that would be sort of the end until another major content update for the game. But I wasn't expecting us to be heading to this planet quite so soon. But we've already been to a lava planet, we've been to a moon, we've been to Omicron and Akua. We could go to an ice planet and just kind of poke around, but I'm not expecting a lot of visual diversity on an ice planet. We'll see. We're at least here in a spot where supposedly, hopefully, we can find the Zascosium we're looking for, and there's nothing saying that we can't do little side trips here and there to just check things out. We've got a very fast-looking drone. Very fast. Look at this guy. He's just hauling ass. Wow. I'm sorry. We just can't ignore that. I think we have an obligation to check this guy out. He's fast enough to completely evade all of the plasma. Alright. Space drone laser. There it is. So, space drone laser. Is there any reason for us to be worrying about looting your kind, or is it just kind of a common? Yeah, it's a pretty common kind of thing. We made it. We came all the way out here. We're gonna take it, but next time I don't think we'll be putting any kind of effort whatsoever into looting the space drone lasers that we come across. I have to say, it's kind of neat that, you know, this is supposed to be a not friendly place, and our first encounter is with a really, really fast and not entirely shy drone. So this is starting to kind of look interesting, except for the yellow colored material down here that could be liquid. You can't really say for sure. Oh, there's a point of interest right there. That looks like a mine, an abandoned mine, maybe? We're just going at it nose in. If that's an abandoned mine, then we're going to park right next to it, and we don't have to worry about BA Xenu weapon bunker. Oh, we crossed over. We've crossed back. We're losing control. What is that? Is that a drone? It looks like a drone. Alright, so that's not a mine. We do have to concern ourselves with it. Oh, hey, quit it. Oh, that's right. I'm trying to use pulse lasers in atmosphere, and you're not allowed to use pulse lasers in atmosphere, so that explains why they weren't firing. Is that another point of interest? Or is that just landscaping? We're actually grounding out the ship on the terrain. I've noticed this before with this ship. You end up sort of bottoming out without really thinking about it, and then by the time you realize what you've done, you're just in this really weird position with the ship all on an angle. Kind of grateful that there is no collision damage in this game yet, because that would be sort of a disappointment. This is another drone. I gotta say, this is kind of a neat looking place with like the fog and stuff. We got guns shooting at this drone. How much can you survive? Oh, it's a troop transport. Troop transports are notoriously resilient. I've seen more than one person ask about this in various different places. They take a beating before they go down. And realistically speaking, I almost think that they're better left alone and you kill the things that they drop off for their loot instead of killing the troop transport, because it's another one of those things where you get your hopes up thinking this is a badass thing, it must be great loot that I'll get for destroying it, and you don't get great loot for destroying it. So we found, I think that's our first deposit, and it's promethium, which is not a bad thing, and 5 zascosium deposits, so we've already encountered one of them. So that's all there is on this planet is zascosium and promethium, which means, whether we want to or not, we're going to be going off-world for iron, because we're completely out of iron again, or as close to out of iron as I think I would like to get. So, we're going to find a landing spot. Maybe we're going to head back this way, towards the sun. That's not towards the sun, that's away from the sun. Go over here, landed at the beginning of a daytime cycle. I want to be able to land over there because that looks like a really good place to land. It's big and open and flat and relatively low. What is... Should I feel bad for flying through that? Was that something that I was supposed to avoid? Ghost Support Mark II. Ghost Drone Port Mark II. Well, I mean, at least we're finding the points of interest. We are taking kind of a repeated pounding. It's really hard to tell just because of the angle that we're on, but we need to get away from this place because there's a lot of things shooting at us and hitting us. Yeah, look at all that stuff flying by. That looks like either ion cannons or plasma. There's another one. What are you? It has 2 drones, 3 drones, 4, 5, 6 drones. What the hell? There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, here we go with the cannons. 5. Wow, stop that. Alright, oh, we've come to the edge. The edge of the world. We can't sail off. That's where all the sea monsters are. Think. This is going to be a really tough place to get around in our small vessel because you can't use combat steel in small vessels. That's the one sort of underpinning thing that I have to keep in mind, which means that we've got far less health per block than we do in our capital vessel. But I think what we can do, maybe, is if we set down here. Look at this guy. Trying to be cheeky. There's a lot of drones on this planet, in case we haven't made it clear. There's a great many drones. And that's not a bad thing. It's not necessarily the best thing, but we can manage. And we're just going to do a quick scout in the small vessel and see how it holds up against the drones and see if it's maneuverable enough to avoid the fire from the points of interest, because if that little drone gets clobbered the way our CB just did, we're going to be in trouble. That's the hover vessel. This is the small vessel, the aptly named small vessel. And that is so much easier to get into and out of than the last capital vessel where we put everything on as sort of an afterthought. Alright, so let's just first of all pick a fight with the drone. We know they're out there. They're not shy, and they've got a lot of ground support. We've got the guns on and loaded. Bad time to find out that just like every other fun gun, you're not allowed to use these in atmosphere. That's about all I have to say about that. Ghost Drone Port Mark II. Another one. Or perhaps the same one. I can see the projectiles heading in our direction. Yeah, this thing either needs more thrusters or a better pilot. One of the two. We're just going to scoot back here. We're kind of missing the point. The point was to find a drone and pick a fight, not find another point of interest and get clobbered with ion cannon fire. There's a drone, but it's quite a ways away. Just gotta keep checking the mini-map every once in a while too, so that we don't accidentally miss the drone that ends us. This looks like a drone down here. Yes, it certainly does. And our scope doesn't work worth a damn. It's a large minigun drone. We've seen numerous large minigun drones. They're not necessarily anything that I'm going to be too concerned about. Is this another one? It's a different shape to the large minigun drone this time around. The other ones were, they look like drones with a pair of lift propellers. I for some reason I think there's a proper name for those. Rotors, I guess you could say. This looks like a rocket drone, maybe? What the hell was that? Oh, I'm getting a little bit surrounded now. So the pulse laser goes through quite a lot of ammunition. We've ascertained that now. And when you can only stack ammunition up to 50, it's I'm not really convinced that this is the weapon for me. It was worth giving it a shot though. That looks like a large minigun drone of the variety that we just shot down. Yeah, we're definitely going through ammunition. A little bit faster than we might like. So we need to make some modifications to the cockpit so that we can use the glass things as a scope, as we've been doing with the last couple of builds, because that makes things a lot easier to hit accurately so we don't waste so much ammunition as we've been doing. And then I think we should be okay to use this as kind of a scouting ship down here in this crazy, creepy, misty green alien planet with all the points of interest that have so many guns. Once we start bringing in some Zascosium, we might have everything else we need on this ship to start making some other weapons. I kind of feel like we may end up going back to the railgun method of destruction and glee. because it's a little bit easier to hit things with, and the ammunition is a little bit easier to stockpile without taking up a ton of space with ammo containers, etc., etc. So we'll just take a quick look around at the moving a little fast there. We're just going to take a quick scoot around and see if we can see any outrageous damage. Look at that. Already we found our plants aren't going to survive very well on this ship if we can't defend this upper section. Yeah, look, it's already destroyed a bunch of our plants. One of the growing plots even has been destroyed. And many of the growing plots on the other side, look at all that. I mean, we're not hard up for fuel in this ship by any stretch of the imagination. We've got so much fuel in the fridge that this is, or sorry, not fuel, food in the fridge, that this is all kind of superfluous. Emergency supplies, if you want to call it that. But this thing just got absolutely wrecked. I'm thinking now what we may end up doing once, I don't think we brought enough blocks and plates to do it, but I think we're just going to get rid of these windows and we're going to close it in with combat steel, because this is kind of ludicrous. But it's good to know. I mean, the worst thing I think for a game like this that you want to encounter is a place where nothing is ever a threat ever again, because you've got so much defenses, so much offense, so much maneuverability that nothing can ever really hurt you. It's clear now that we're not at that point with this game. So the next episode, we're going to have done some repairs. We're going to repair what we can. We're going to bolster the defenses on this thing as best we can. And then we're going to take a look at the cockpit modifications to our small vessel, and we're going to do some more exploring, find some things, maybe take a look at what a Zascosium deposit looks like, and then we're going to make some more plans for how we're going to pacify this alien stronghold. And if you want to be notified when we add that episode, the easiest way to do that, of course, is to subscribe to my channel or follow me on social media. Links for social media always in the information section below the video. Feel free to leave your comments and feedback. Thanks for watching, guys, and take care.